Decisions be pleasing to you and beneficial to our city and the citizens in our city. Be with us all as we go through the remainder of this week, through this life that be pleasing to you. Thanks again for this day in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you. First personal appearance, Richard, who's gonna talk for y'all group? You are?
Yes.
Okay.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
I've never done this before. How does this work?
You just tell us.
You want to ask me something, or I'm gonna tell you something? Okay. Well, I'm gonna tell you about my culvert in front of my home at 814 Moss Hill Drive. I've been having a lot of trouble with this culvert for years now. I've come to the City Hall, but I'm gonna be honest, I didn't come. My husband came a couple of times and asked for the help. And they come and they tell them this, they tell us that, but bottom line, the problem's not been fixed. And this has been going on literally for 15 years, because this is my second husband. I had 3, you know, they said 3 is a charm. 3 is a charm. This is the third one, and he's been coming now for about 3 to 4 years.
I think Johnny's Payton been the one coming in.
Yeah.
So he talked to, he's been,
And when Johnny was coming when I was married to Daniel Judon too, and it still hasn't been fixed.
well,
I'm just saying, and I don't mean no harm.
yeah, it's the same rules it was then, bringing you in,
Mess.
there's the ordinance.
Well, they looked up the ordinance, and the ordinance, their basic policy is they provide a culvert whenever a house is built to get access to that. But after that, the ordinance says if an existing culvert needs replacing, the owner shall do so at his own expense. So it's not really the city's burden to replace culverts if they have to be replaced according to the ordinances they passed. That ordinance is 16-22.
You really?
Now that.
Is the culvert collapsed, stopped up?
It's stopped up, it's separated, it's, what did they say, it was metal? It was part metal and part something else?
Concrete. Something like
Concrete.
somebody added on to.
And apparently they separated or something, all I know is it stays stopped up and it backs up into the yard and the driveway. The driveway needs to be replaced, and it's just been a mess. So, I mean, according to something I read off of your website, when I printed off the codes and statements and everything, it said that if it was 32 feet from the center line, 23 feet, or 32 feet from the center line, that it was the city's responsibility. If that culvert is not on my property, but it's on part of the property of the city, then it was not my responsibility. That's the part I don't understand.
Well, now, if it's on the city, then it would be ours, but the right of way is not our property, we have a right of way to your property. Right of way to use it to keep up the roadway. If you found anything in the ordinance that contradicts that, I'd like to look at it. I have, all I know is that particular ordinance says that people have to repair their own culverts or replace them if they need it. So that's all I can tell you.
Where did you read it was 32 feet from?
I had printed it off online from the Mississippi website, and I can't find that paperwork. This that I have before me is some paperwork that my brother-in-law gave me, and it doesn't have that in here about the measurement from that center line in the street to my property. But I will go back and do my research and find my paperwork, because I did see it was either 23 feet or 32 feet.
That wasn't the state website you was on, was it?
I might have
If
thrown
the state
it.
right away is different, I mean, we got nothing to do.
Each road is different.
I know, but when you go to the state website, you can print it off by county. You can look it up per
But
county.
that's on state roads.
Excuse me, may I
not city
come
roads.
here?
Sure, like a highway versus a strictly city street.
Okay, well,
The highway, city,
I looked at the website also, it says the city of New Albany, code ordinance. And it says 20 feet from the edge of the highway, 20 feet from the edge of the street. Yes, it does. And it's got a diagram showing the exact measurement of the street itself. Should be 24 feet wide.
On Mossville Drive?
Right. No. This is for city, or this is city ordinance.
Well, there's different right of ways all over this town. Like Moss Hill be the bottom of the ditch, that'd be the right of way, from one side of the bottom of the ditch to the other. There's Eric, he's an ordinance guy.
The right of ways are all over, like some streets are 33 feet, some streets are 20, and there's no set.
From the center line of the road.
That's total.
So,
Basically, what the county uses is our right of ways are what we've been taking.
That's right.
but then the city, if you're saying the city can tell you what to do on within that 32 feet from the center line of that road, even though they're claiming that part of the property.
We don't claim ownership of it, we claim a right of way, which is different than
Right,
ownership.
which you can't, with an individual, only the individual property owner cannot do anything unless they get a permit from the city on that property. Even though it's there.
You mean on their property? Well,
In the
right of way.
ditch. Yes. But the city can only allow people to do things on that, we're restricted as to what we can do on that right of way, period. When, I worked for the phone company for 26 years, and I know about right of way. When we run a line under the power company, there's only so much a person can do under that line. There's absolutely nothing really. So, in the city also, when it comes to street right of way, there is restriction as to what can be done on the right of way. What I read in here was saying also that, from the center line of this road, 32 feet, that includes state. And the state has laws also that govern what the city can and can't do.
What road you talking about there?
Huh?
What road are you talking?
We are talking about city streets.
See, all city streets don't have as much right of way.
Some of them are the edge of the road, some are center of the ditch, to center of the ditch. Well, most of them are.
To the center of the ditch.
The center of the ditch to the other center of the ditch is.
But if you were saying that if say for instance, my brother, if he goes out there and decides to ditch to try to clear his culvert, he got to come and pay you, pay y'all.
But if the gas line
Permit.
run down through that
You get a
ditch, can I
permit.
work in that ditch where the gas line running down? And if I clean the ditch out and it floods my neighbor's property, am I responsible for that? For his property being damaged?
And under the fort.
Cause they won't
Now,
even
if
clean.
it's that's a total different, right, a gas line or electric line or,
I cleaned the ditch out for him,
Can I stand up?
3 or 4
Yeah.
times. But what are we talking about, the ditch or the
The
culvert?
ditch has never been, when I first moved over there, the ditch was clean. Now it's almost, when it rains, it floods. And when I ask them to clean it out, they just clean a little, about this much out and leave the rest, and it just keep filling up with dirt. They put the dirt on the side instead of moving it away like they do on the other side of the street. When they clean it, they put the dirt in one of those white big truck and they take it off. They just pile it up on my side and it comes right back down in the ditch.
what are they talking about there, Johnny? Spin ditch or something?
No, I'm gonna let Alan, because Alan came out there and got it for him. Normally, we'll take a track over, we'll have a truck. When we dig it, we'll put it on the truck. I've been out there about 6 or 7 times trying to hit him out.
He told me to dig it and stop it up on the back of the ditch with the water when we get to the job.
Who, Richard did?
Yes.
And I asked him why, I asked Johnny himself, why you wouldn't fix it. And he said to me that you told him that if you fix my coverage, you're going to have to fix everything.
If you put a,
That's what you told
You
me.
put a new cover in.
If you put a
I
new
mean,
cover in, you have to do it for
The
everybody.
order
You can't
says
do
we
it for
can't.
one person. It's one cover per driveway. That's the order.
They put 2 on your driveway, cause I watched it.
No, it
I
didn't.
ain't never put no cover on Kim's
They
driveway.
ain't put none on mine.
but also the Mississippi State law states that if, and we will file a complaint with the state.
Right.
That if, the supervisors, which would be Alderman in the city of New Albany, are not taking care of their property, they are liable for a jail fine.
Well, Fuel City,
How much
they
does
are
a
looking at
culvert
it.
cost, might I ask? Does insurance cover it?
I wouldn't think so. I doubt it.
Okay, well, how much does a culvert cost?
I don't know.
I do got one question, I'm sorry for my.
They charge by the foot, you know.
I do got another question. See, this is stuff I've observed. The people across the street from me that continue to clean out their ditch and keep it clean, all down that street. But on my side, my house and the house next to me, they don't do anything to it. And my neighbor's ditch is so full up, it's even with his yard. And when it rains, it floods my driveway, floods all the way down into my carport and everything. They do not clean my ditch out like they're saying. I called, I asked them to bring the thing out there to get the leaves up. They won't do it, but I see them doing it everywhere else over town.
We don't have a leaf machine.
They
We don't have
they
one.
have a white truck to go around with this thing, and I seen them, I followed them.
With what thing?
But the thing that,
Street sweep?
yeah, I seen them do it.
A street sweep, you can't clean them, go down the street sweep.
No, you talking about ditch, you talking about the ditch,
A ditch is on a tractor.
yeah.
Is that what you seen, a tractor?
The vacuum is,
Oh, vacuum.
yeah,
Vacuum?
I seen them do a street sweep.
Now, we use Bill's sewer truck, we run a hose up in there, cause the jets blow backwards to clean the culvert out. That's what we do.
We don't have a vacuum for leaves.
So I can get in this ditch, clean it out, put a cover down, and there's a gas line running.
That's a whole different ballgame.
You'll have to call, it was 811 dig
Yeah, you
and
gotta
get
call it.
approval before you dig.
They'll come out and mark
Yeah.
all,
Make sure you don't.
all utilities.
Once they get it marked, then you can dig, yes, sir.
Even we have to do that.
Well, I know what I said, I was thinking we just do more research, because something ain't right.
Well, they're not voting today, so try more research
Yeah.
and bring it back.
Mark, you got something?
Hello, gentlemen. I'm actually here representing my wife. She's got a migraine, so she's bedridden at the moment, so I get the assignment. I believe she spoke to each of you. She didn't get, Kevin Dill didn't call her back, but had spoken with you and even shared information about the proposal that is currently at the legislature, and it's in the committee. The committee has asked, and this is concerning naming the New Albany Bridge, the Zach Stewart Bridge. He was an integral part of making it what it is. As well as, you know, the giant road programs that have been so successful. He was part of those. Typically, these are done after somebody's deceased, but my question is always, why don't we not do it while they can see it? And Mr. Zach, of course, is in not great health at this point, so we need to act. And the committee has asked simply, not for you to pay for anything, not for you to go down there and do anything, but an endorsement letter of some sort.
Yeah, we got a proclamation.
You got
we
a
signed.
see,
And this show it, basically, it's saying we support it. They'll have to do it, yeah.
And see, and that's the whole point, is that it's not asking anything from you other than your signature on that proclamation that says, yes, we endorse the idea. Kathy Chisholm took it, ran with it, and the committee that presents those things is open to it. They even said that about usually people are dead when we do this.
That's true.
And they said, though, they think it's worth doing.
Yeah.
And so they're ready to present it. What they really wanted was elected officials who represent the different wards of this city to say, yes, we agree that that's a good idea. So what I'm asking for and presenting to you today is asking you, will you please consider and vote, and I encourage you to vote, to sign the proclamation, to send it down to the committee, and then they'll take it from there. We're not committing the city to any fundings or buildings or memorials, none of that. It's just your endorsement, and that's all. So that's the request. If you have other, I have the fact sheet about all of his history, but suffice it to say, it is an impressive list of credentials, and I think it's worth doing. So that is my version of the presentation, and it's done under the auspices of the Union County Heritage Museum, and that's the sourcing from it. So it's not me individually or Kathy individually, it's through the Union County Heritage Museum. That's the presentation. If you got any questions, I'll answer what I can.
No, we got a motion in a second already.
Oh, wow.
So all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carried. All right,
Wow.
we'll send that.
Thanks.
Kathy had already had to carry it.
Well, I know.
Yeah, she called them all.
I knew. And trust me, she does know how to talk on her own.
All right, let's move to departmental business. Bill, looks like you're first.
The first item I have tonight is bringing that, more about this from the quick claim deed, Brenda Carter. Our East Albany water system, which serves customers kind of from our city limits out to the center area. That's something the city took over back in the late '60s, early '70s, I think, Tim. It was a community system that didn't make it, and so the city took it over. I guess all the property was transferred to us. Where we have a well site and a tank out there, a former well site, it's shown on the tax maps and everything looks right, and I'm not sure what happened if that property changed hands. When they started researching it, the deed description didn't match anywhere close to where the actual tank site and well location are. It was, I don't know, quite a ways off where it actually showed we had land. But the property owner is open to working that out. We basically had to do some survey work to get the deed description correct. Is that right, Ray?
I think they had already done the survey work, so it cost us.
Okay, yeah, so all they need us to do is sign a quick claim deed. And it's
Both
just,
ways.
Yeah.
They'll clear up our ownership where we actually sit, and then we'll clear up ownership where our description says we own, but we don't have to.
yeah, so it gives us a good description around the tank and well site that we have.
So we need a motion to, Reagan, I don't need words.
Just to authorize, you to sign that quick claim deed return.
Or just to confirm, we're not purchasing anything from her.
I'll just clarify that the landline's really there.
So moved.
Got a motion by Will, have a second. Second by Keith. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carried. Let me get call Kathy real quick.
Okay.
Before you go to the next thing. Hey, all right, we're in the departmental business. Bill Maddox was first. So, I'm gonna let him carry on.
I'd like to take up the next two items together, item 2 and 3. Those are pay requests for our wastewater plant. First was to KJAX Construction, actually their 20th pay request, $105,122.25. And also pay request number 19 to ESI for engineering work, $17,506.50. And that's for work completed in the last month with the plant.
Will the board on that. Got a motion by, Will, do I have a second? Second by Parks. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
The next two items, Mayor, we'll kind of talk about together, but I think we'll have to do those, approve them separately. A month or so ago, we got bids to, steer right away on our electric lines. We put about 140 miles out there, single phase and 3-phase lines. And the bids came back fairly high, somewhere between $6,800 up to $8,000 a mile. Almost, I think 930,000 was the low, 1.1 million was the high. And this is something we're gonna have to continually do, I think, to keep our right of way, in the condition we need it to really improve our reliability and just make the system better. So if we do this, we've got about 700 miles of right of way. We try to do it on a 5-year cycle. I should have already done the math ahead of time, Keith, you have to help me. That's I do think somewhere around 140 miles a year to get it done every 5 years. So, we'll be looking at 800,000, 900,000 a year continually just on right of way maintenance. Our crews can do some, but they just can't keep up the way we need to keep up and the way these contractor crews can do. So our guys have been to some trade shows and talked to some other utilities. And there's really a couple pieces of equipment that we need, and we think we can do the job pretty similar to how the contractors do it. One is called it's a mechanical tree trimmer. It's also known as a giraffe or a sky trimmer. It's a big vertical cutter. There's also a big mulcher that goes along with it. It goes in front and kind of clears the path. Then after the vertical cutter goes along, it comes and mulches all the brush up. So it goes a lot faster, makes the work a lot easier. So what we would like to do is reject the bids from the contractors, because they're about to expire anyway, but I think we need to take action on it. And then we'd like to get permission to advertise, to take bids on these two pieces of equipment, this sky trimmer and mulch. So I guess the first, again, we can talk about this if y'all like, but I guess the first thing we need to do is to reject the bids from the right-of-way contractors.
Reagan, do we have to reject it, we just don't accept? Or is it anything?
I think you do, yeah. Yeah.
I asked Range Engineering Group about it, they said they thought the right thing to do would be for us to reject it.
And then motion to reject any and all bids up to this day. Motion by Keith, do I have a second? Second by Keith. Kevin Dale, any other questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
And on permission to advertise for these two pieces of equipment, again, we think if we can buy them for what we've been quoted, preliminarily, we believe we can, maintain the right of way for somewhere around $3,500 a mile, which is almost, half what we pay the contractors. And again, we think we can do it with existing staff without having to hire anybody. We'll just shuffle people around on our existing right of way crew.
So you're asking for permission to advertise?
Just permission to advertise tonight.
Motion by Drew, do I have a second? Second by Will. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor? Any opposed?
Mayor, if you don't mind, I may jump down to the action agenda. Items H, I, and J are all related. It's kind of like gas water business. Kevin Charles is getting ready to do a fairly significant plant expansion. And the property that's adjacent to them, that you're gonna expand on, there's a sewer line that goes diagonally across that property. Mr. Berryhill, there's been a lot of discussion, I guess, about how that line will be handled when they're ready to expand. I think, in previous years, there was some indication the city would cooperate with them on getting the line moved. We brought Three Rivers in to help us, see if there's some grant opportunities. And they were able to identify a DIP grant, Development Infrastructure Program grant. They got the $41,050 grant. We think it's gonna there's 10% match involved with the grant. We think it's probably gonna cost $46,000, somewhere in that range, to move the line. And Kevin Charles has agreed to split that match with us, so we're not gonna be out a lot of money on it. I guess so there's three things here. We have to approve a resolution accepting the grant from MDA. We have to approve a resolution about the 10% match. And then there's just a memorandum of agreement with Kevin Charles Furniture. I think it's pretty good. It's a good way for us to get the line relocated. It'll help Kevin Charles out, and we're out of minimum amount of money. So do we need to take all, again, we have a discussion on it. Do we do them individually? Can we do them all three together?
You got a motion on all three? Got a motion by Will, have a second. Second by Keith. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Community development, Billy, you got anything?
I don't have anything, unless y'all have questions about
Okay.
the reports I submitted.
Union County Museum. Do you have anything particular, Jesus?
The one thing that, well, there's a couple of things I forgot to put on my report that was late, I'm sorry. I've applied for a Mississippi Writers Trail and a Mississippi Country Music Trail, marker, one for Faulkner and the other for Bobby Wood. And, I also have a BF Ford historical marker in, and, Johnny's helped clear the site, so we hope to get that in place soon. And when we do, we'd like everybody to attend a little ceremony out there for it. So,
Okay.
and if you got any questions about my report, let me know. And with Pioneer Days this weekend, so if you want to be a pioneer, come on out. And we also are doing a Sam and Mosley and Johnson, event on November the 12th to honor them. They've been in the Living Blues magazine, and he was on the cover of that, and, so they're coming to make some presentations, so I hope you put that on your calendar.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, police department. Keith?
Mr. Mayor, I don't have anything tonight.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Parks and Rec, Chase, you got anything?
No, sir, I don't have any business.
All right.
I emailed your reports if y'all have any questions on that.
Hey, Chase,
Yes, sir.
I know we're trying to do Little League basketball, you put it out there everywhere. Are numbers looking,
They're looking like, some age groups is not all they're gonna make. We're making a big push in the schools, so third and fourth and fifth and sixth grade girls is the lowest. But, we've got some support from the school and they're really pushing. So hopefully all of them will make it.
all right, thank you. Chris, you need to approve municipal court collection contract tonight or not?
Well, I think in general, we put that as kind of a general thing, Mr. Mayor, but I'll propose it, I guess, if I need to, so the board can vote.
You need to. The municipal court collection agency contract. Who's it with?
Oh, that's fine. Actually, I'll put it there. Clerk will put it there. The clerk said she picked this up from other clerks. The one we have, we sent $1 million, and I think we got like 20 returns. Didn't amount to anything. This one had really good reviews. One town sent $1 million off, got $400,000 back out of Florida. And I have reviewed the contract. The contract was signed. So she wants us to approve that one based on recommendations from other clerks.
Okay.
Is this the sums that worked? I know the last one, we didn't pay anything unless they collected, so this.
Yeah, it's all pursuant to state statute, you know, they authorized that a few years ago, and that $1 million we sent, Tina went through, we didn't send everything, we got lots of things from that, she actually identified $1 million that she thought might be collectible. She sent those off, so we'll probably send off the same with a few others.
Who's this company with now? Do you know?
Right here.
Oh, the new,
Capital Recovery Systems.
oh, okay. We need a motion to approve them going into that contract with Capital Recovery System. Yeah, motion. Keith, second, Dale, second by Kevin Davis. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? That motion carries. All right, fire department.
I got just a couple of things. My sinus has been messed up, so I'm a little hoarse, but I'm not contagious or anything. We're getting back to normal. The first thing was we talked about, hiring a new employee, and between meetings, we went ahead and, got with the mayor, and the mayor put it out there and asked us, to be able to hire Jared Dillard. Jared is from the, Red Hill area. He lives in Union County. He works in Lee County, and he needed to give his employer a 2-week notice, which, I respected him for that. And so what it was this jumped us up a week ahead because we do have 2 spots open, so he'll start next Monday. Jared Dillard is his name.
We'll make it official. All right. Motion by Will, have a second. All right, Jerry Dillon, a second by Drew. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor?
And
Any opposed? Motion carries.
kind of explaining that real quick and, just kind of get your input and make sure everything's okay. Hiring folks right now statewide is an issue for fire department, and I think the police chief can tell you, they're running through the same thing. We sat down and talked to a bunch of fire chiefs and folks that hire last week, and everybody's doing the same issues or having the same issues. And if we wait to hire folks, if we have to wait to a board meeting, or if we have to post for tryouts, sometimes it's 2 or 3 months. And if we don't hire these folks when they come available, somebody's going to, and we feel like we may be losing some qualified people that way. So what we're doing, and it shouldn't be an issue because we're still going by the way the city hires, and that's, you know, coming to you and asking approval. But if we get some folks coming in and they meet the qualifications and they wanna try out, the way the state does the new tryouts for the physical side of it is so quick to set up that we can set it up real quick and test them. So instead of advertising and hiring for a pool, as the applications come in, we're putting several of them together, and we had 3 or 4 come in after the closing date. And we put it together and everything, and we put together another tryout. And I think listening to the other folks in the state and what they're going through, they're even doing it out of state, and they're doing Zoom meeting hirings and having them come in and do physicals. I really would like to have the okay and the input from you to take these applications as they come in and put them through the tryouts. And if they pass and we need them, we're already one ahead of the ball game. You see any problem with that? We're still following the city guidelines.
Kevin, Down, did you hear that?
Yes, I did.
You okay with it?
As long as the rating said we're good with everything.
What is a trial? Is it, I mean, obviously it's physical.
Well, they have to have the educational background, which is either an ACT score of a certain level, or they have to take the work keys test and have a silver on it, which it means that they can, do the academics at the academy. The second thing is the physical tryout, and it's a 1.5 mile run in under 14 minutes. They have to pull a hose, the dummy, and the tools. And to tell you kind of why we looked at this and started talking to some other departments, we had 7 folks coming to our tryout. 1 went to Tupelo before the tryout. 1 went back to college before the tryout. 1 got pregnant before the tryout, which was a first for us, but I mean, it happened. And 1 went to the railroad before the tryout. And so we lost some good candidates before the tryout. And so we're trying to get ahead of that game. Luckily, the one that did go to Tupelo, he left another department, went to Tupelo, stayed 1 shift and went back to his other department. So they may have saved us a headache, but that's the tryout. It's just the physical tryout. Then they can go into the pool. And if we do need them, we're sometimes a month or 2 ahead of the ball game, and we can bring you a name.
A little bit, so you're asking for authority, to give you authority to hire them if they meet
No,
all the
no, absolutely not. Just to, basically, we won't advertise in the paper for 2 weeks. We'll just take applications on a daily basis if they come in, and we'll try them out just as soon as we set everything up. There's nothing, really no change other than we're not advertising that we're taking applications. We want to just keep taking them and go with it.
Yeah, you can't delegate the actual hiring.
I just want to have them ready.
You want to just get a step closer to
Yes, I
hiring.
do. That's just, I want to save some time, because if we don't, like the Starkville fire chief told me the other day, and when they hired those out of state, he said, we know if we don't hire them when we need them right now, if we have to wait, then they're going somewhere else. Somebody's going to hire these folks, because they're needed all over the state. I mean, and when you've got Memphis going to Ohio to try to recruit firefighters from Columbus and Cleveland to come back to Memphis, Tennessee and fight fire, that tells you right there how bad it is. They're going all the way across country hiring folks. So I'm just trying to get creative with our hiring.
It seems like a more efficient way to be able to pull the trigger.
If we had to set up the old, what they call CPAT, that's different, because that was a heck of a thing to set up. But they've even streamlined that now to where it takes us about 10 minutes to set the course up and try them out. And that's where we're at now. The times are changing, and they're changing, and we're trying to adapt as quick as we can. But they're changing fast. It's kind of like those of us that are older. It's not our father's Oldsmobile anymore. It's a changing world, and we're just trying to adapt and change with it. So, anybody see a problem with that?
I need a motion, I guess. Really, all you're doing is getting permission to.
You're just pretty much changing up the way you interview.
No, I'm just you want to change up the way I advertise.
Yeah.
We'll just take applications 365 days a year now.
Yeah. Okay, what's the will of the board? I got motion by Will, second by Drew. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carried.
You know anybody needs a job, tell them to come see us. The next thing is the promotion of Ethan Robbins to driver. He's been through our in-house driving class, and he is currently finishing up his NFPA certification for driver operator, which we request them to have when they advance to driver.
Motion by Keith, I'll second by Parks. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
And the next thing is, we were talking to Kevin Dale and talking about SOPs and SOGs, the way they did it. And we needed to change some stuff, and we looked at our protocols and our SOPs and our operating procedure and our guidelines. And there was a lot of things that weren't covered. And so we went back in our book, and this is the book right here to tell you what we do. And we didn't have anything for the airport, and we are mutual aid because it's New Albany, Union County. And we didn't have anything sitting there in black and white to solidify what we do on dispatching. And so we sat down and wrote those, and I sent them to Reagan, and he looked over them. He made his changes and reworded some of the things, and put it into a legal aspect, I guess. And yeah, make it clear, because sometimes my clear is cloudy because it's clear to me but not to them. And so we've got all that written, and they're ready to go in place. And I just need approval to put the airport SOPs, SOGs in place. Tells what we do, and the dispatching from 911, the way they page New Albany Fire Department. And we also put in a new complaint form, a citizen complaint form for our citizens. If they have an issue with the fire department, they can fill out a complaint form and put it in with us. And here they are. And I just need approval to put these into our SOP, SOG book. They're identical to what you did say.
You good, Reagan?
Yeah, one thing I wonder about is whether we need to vote to approve it, as long as y'all were made aware of it. Really, it's more in his wheelhouse to describe what public procedures for fire departments than yours.
Yeah, I don't think we've never, this is a first for us to come, be talking about it, so I just wanna make sure that we're good.
Yeah. I want him to make sure he informs you, keeps you informed, but I don't know that you have to pass it.
We had an opportunity to purchase a truck from Ingomar. Now, this is a forestry truck. The forestry gives counties vehicles for $100, and some of them are really nice. And Ingomar picked this truck up in 2011 or 12. It's a 91 model, but it was refurbished and remanufactured in 2011. We can change ownership of this truck for $100. We did have Drew and Alderman White came by and looked at it, and was given an opportunity to go over it pretty good. And so they can answer any questions, but there's the pictures of it. This truck basically is a 91 model KME, remanufactured or refurbished, rebuilt in 2009. It's a four-wheel drive. It has foam on it, which is good for the airport, and it has what they call a pump and roll. That means the truck can pump water and foam while it's moving, and none of our other trucks do that, so that's a benefit. It's a custom cab, so it seats 4 people, and it's got a lot of power. It's got a 20,000-pound winch on the front, which we feel like could be a benefit in a rescue down the road for a heavy rescue. And I talked to the ratings bureau, and he said, hey, that's just another asset that you can put in there and maybe get a point or two when it comes time for a rating. What are we out? We're out $100, and we're out putting a radio in it and then putting our name on it for the pride and joy of it, and adapting it for our diesel capture system. And that's basically all we're gonna be out of it. It's a good truck, and it doesn't have all the electronics on it, so maybe it's less stuff that will break. I honestly feel like that it's probably a better truck than what we already have for a reserve engine to start with. And so I say we try it. If it doesn't work out and we don't see that it benefits us, all we gotta do is transfer to somebody else in the county for whatever we have in it. The truck is well worth $100. I mean, it's been taken care of. Eric knows the truck well, so if something goes wrong with it, we're gonna blame him anyway. But I don't think we can go wrong. I don't, and like I said, am I 100% sold that it'll serve our purpose? Absolutely not. But do I think it's a good move for the city? I do, just because of what it has on it and can do.
Where are you gonna store it?
We do have an empty spot in the bay to store it at Station 1. It'll roll to the airport, it'll roll to grass fires, it'll roll where I don't wanna put a $500,000 truck for a grass fire. So, but just the foam and the pump and roll and the 20,000-pound winch and the big Detroit engine in it is a selling factor to me. And it does have TCB on the side because that's what the Memphis airport did, and Alderman Horn said we had to leave that on there if we kept it. So I just need approval to, let's do this and try it. The truck's been sitting over there and we've messed with it, and I don't see any issues as far as a bunch of stuff leaking under it. Eric and them have taken care of it at EMR. They do take care of their equipment.
I got a motion by Keith, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Parks, any other questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
And our small Hamatro hydraulic unit was over 10 years old. We replaced the big one last year, and of course this year the small one went out. This is a protected territory single source purchase, and it's $5,536.80. They gave us $500 for our old unit, and the new one is $5,036.80 is what we'll have to pay for it. I couldn't get more than one quote because we do use a Hamatro and it's our other tools, and nobody else is allowed to bid in this.
That's a dog for life.
It is, it's what runs our jobs. And it gets used a lot in Union County, that's for sure. That thing gets used a bunch. So I need approval to replace that. I can purchase it out of fire money, or I can purchase it out of my small engine, my small equipment. It's the first month in, it's pretty good size purchase out of my small equipment, but I didn't use that much of it last year. So it's a gamble, and I can pay for it either way.
Motion by Drew, have a second? Second by Kevin Dale, any questions or discussion? All in favor?
And the only thing I didn't have on there, I was gonna say, was we did go to that meeting last week for instructors, and Mark Sides was approached by the Mississippi Fire Instructors Association and asked him to serve on their board, which, that says a lot for Neobney. That puts us just another step deeper into a lot of the decisions that are made for the fire service throughout the state of Mississippi. Mark was elected into that position as the Northeast Vice President of the Instructors Association, and it won't take a lot of time away, from what he does here. They do a lot of their stuff by email and phone, but it's an honor for me, Albany, to have somebody represent them on that.
Good.
Anything else? Any questions?
Street, Johnny, you got anything?
Hey Johnny, thanks for the stop sign and the crosswalk. It's made things a lot safer Halloween for sure, and every day for my kids and a lot of other people, so.
I have already had somebody mention it to me too, that
That's what we do, we try to go people out much as we can.
All right, Eric, you're next.
I emailed my monthly report. We didn't have a zoning meeting this month. On the code enforcement side, I need to set, 2 public hearings for December the 7th to condemn 1300 South Central and 815 Standish Street.
Got a motion by Kevin Dale, have a second. Second by Will, any other questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries.
I got with Reagan about a body cam policy. We had a couple of incidents that I guess he said, she said kind of deal. And I think we want to try to go to body cameras for us on inspections and stuff, and on the code enforcement side. Cause we get some irate people sometimes. I think he sent y'all the copy of the policy review. Or we need
You
it.
just want the policy, or do you want to get permission from bids for body camera?
Well, the policy first, and then I price body cameras. Of course, they're not the quality of the police, but I talked to him about them, and some other departments use them, and I've got enough money in my small equipment to buy them, you know.
Policies again could be instituted at the departmental level or even by the mayor, but again, I wanted them to know about it, even if they don't have to vote on it.
All right, is a good quality camera bad expensive body camera?
No, the difference is, when Eric talked to me about them, ours are WatchGuard, and they sync with our existing camera systems in the cars.
Yeah.
And we have our own, media library for that. You can get some, and they're about $1,700 a piece, and you can get some that are probably do exactly what he needs to do, and probably pretty decent quality for not near that money. And that's what, and I sent Eric some.
Yeah, they're about $300 a piece.
Like a GoPro or something like that?
It's kinda like that, but these are designed basically for, you know, that. And I've done a lot of research on them, and I forgot the brand of them, but they, you know, they've got a docking station, so you put it on it, it'll go straight to the computer and stuff, so.
And the ins outs there, you know, he can go through 3 or 4 for the price of one we got, but ours you got to do sync with everything.
You just asking for it because it's on your budget?
No, well, I've got money to buy.
Okay.
To buy it.
So we don't need to support that.
I don't think so.
Do we reckon?
It's about $600 for 2 of them.
Huh?
You gotta give it.
Yep.
All right, that's all I got, appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay, let's go, we don't have to do consent agenda unless somebody's got an objection to consent agenda. But we'll move to the back page. To action agenda. Street overlay, Drew, you may have an update.
Yeah, the original plan was to start milling on McCraw this past Friday, but then of course it rained for 3 days before, so that bumped us a little bit, but it's soon. You know, as soon as they get back around for that, when we're gonna start. And I've been back and forth between Jason and Johnny both.
Yeah.
He actually, he needs some parts for that, the spread thing.
There was something on his that he was waiting on a part to come in as far as
I
laying.
know the feeling on that
Yeah.
part,
Yeah.
I met with him, so.
Our storm shelter discussion, anybody got anything on that? Okay, let's go to item C then. It's approved request for cash of $187,000, request number 5 for future furniture, which is CDBG project that we're doing for actually for the county. But we've already done several requests. So we can do C and D, I guess, together. The other one's request number 4 for future furniture project. Well, one of them requests for cash, the other to pay it. Is that right? Okay. Got a motion by Drew for the 2, do I have a second? Second by Will. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Well, I should have included item E there, but,
Yeah.
okay. E and F is basically, yeah. Which, anybody got any questions about the change order? It happens all the time, but Bill, you may have a little bit of, do you on the change order, or Will?
Will, that's what the extra created.
Installation?
Yeah, this change come about, you guys approved a change order previously to replace the siding on the front of the exterior elevation of the building. And once the contractor got in there removing the outside siding, they noticed that the existing insulation had continuously gotten wet over the years and rotted, so. This is just a change order to replace that insulation in the process.
They'll pay for it, we just have to approve it.
Yeah, the funds will come out of contingency set up in the beginning of the project.
Motion by Keith, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Will, any other questions or discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Ordinance establishing historic district. Who's taking that, Reagan?
That's really been Jean's thing. We put it in last time, and she needed that. She could probably explain better why she needed it, but it is stated that the downtown area is the historic, it's other than the south side of Main, it's not in it.
Oh, the south side of Maine's not in it now.
Never was. Never.
Are you gonna add that to it? A note?
At a later date.
Okay.
Yes.
Do we need a board approval to?
Yes.
All right. Motion by Will, do I have a second? Second by Keith. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Quit claim deed to Bill Smallwood Estate, 0.2 acres.
Yeah, that one came to me a while back, and then they kept following up on it. So on the northwest corner of 30 and 15, which is 30 east of 15, which is really on the highland side, there's nothing there in the woods. That was all part of the big neighborhood set up over 100 years ago. And what was left of that neighborhood ends up in the Smallwood hands. Well, if you look on the map, there's a little strip there of about 2.2 acres, and it says on the map, City Norman. So, this goes all the way back before John Haynes had his accident. He had researched before then and said there is no deed to the city. And Smallwood came back to me, and I tracked down what actually happened was, about 3 years ago, the people who do our maps said, hey, the Smallwood deed doesn't cover that whole area. And so Christie over there had notes on it, just saying they didn't have anywhere to put it in the city. Well, we have no deed to it ever. Their deed, if you go back far enough, I think you would find a deed to that whole strip of houses and everything together. But there were somewhere along the way there was an error, and they appear to be we're not actually saying they're the owner, and we would not actually be transferring anything that we have a title to. We're on the tax map. Tax maps do have errors sometimes. And what we would really be doing is doing a quick claim saying any claim we have to this land, we pass. So we don't really own it, is what I'm telling you.
But they're gonna deed it to us?
No, we deed it to them.
Okay.
Yeah.
To Smallwood?
Yeah. It's 0.2. It's what's on the map, shows in our name.
Okay.
It's not, Bill, there's no right of way easements, and we don't need it for anything?
In the deed, I can put that we will still maintain, and we will still keep any right of ways that we have.
Just wondering why we had it to begin with.
Because it just got created about 3 years ago. It's not, I have to show it to you on TSC maps, which if you want, I might can pull that up. We got anything else to talk about? Give me about a minute, I'll find it.
So this happened 100 years ago or whatever?
It could have. I mean, you'd have to go through a lot of deeds to find where it went off.
Okay.
But
So we hadn't planned it for any
John
reason.
did go back all the way and said it's never been in Blue Albany City's hands for deeds.
Why did that one go, we didn't do the consent agenda?
You don't have to.
He called it out and said somebody has a reason.
You don't have to do anything. Okay. Any of them.
Alright. You can see. I don't know how well y'all can see that from over there. This is,
I wonder where it is.
this is what shows as theirs, and this is what got put in the city's name right there. So it's running
Where the
along.
house is?
No, it's on this side of the house, it's just an empty lot. And it's really running along Garfield.
Not good for this.
No, we've done this a couple times before, by the way. We did it for the Young family one time, there was some issues with one lot. And then we did it for the, Morris family, right, just right up the road there.
How much that?
We really didn't have anything. So,
All right, y'all.
So you really think it was more of an error than?
it was an error in their deed, and we have no claim to it. They just didn't know who owned it. They had no record of anybody on it, so they put it in the city. Yeah, that doesn't mean that they gave us ownership, that just means they put it on the map.
Gotcha.
Yeah. There's no deed to us. They listed on the map as being us, and they'd like that cleared up.
Well, I think with your question, if we do have utilities there, as long as they've been there, I think we probably have restricted easements. I don't think changing ownership would change our right to have utilities there. Ray, would you agree with that?
Yeah, I'll make sure that if we do quit claim that, I'll put it in there, we retain any easements we have for utilities and roadway right-of-ways.
Got a motion by Will, do I have a second? Second by Drew. Any other question or discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, that, Alderman, executive session, personnel.